We've recently talked about tank crews and discussed the best ways of improving them to achieve maximum battle efficiency. And today we'd like to focus our attention on the skills of pilots and service personnel. You can gain aircraft crew points the same way as for tank crews, so there's not much use in going over it again. Crew points directly depend on the research points you gain in battle, and you can boost it for Golden Eagles. To achieve the maximum skill level of an aircraft crew, you need 33,381 points. The training menu has 3 tabs: Pilot, Defensive Armament, and Logistical Services. We'll start with the first one, where all the pilot skills can be found. Vitality is the one we'd like to talk about first here. At the lowest levels, the pilot can survive a single small caliber round or a similar shrapnel wound. A trained pilot can even sustain a large caliber round hit with some luck. Pilot vitality is essential for any aircraft crew. Bombers need it to survive interceptor attacks, attack aircraft need it to sustain ground anti-aircraft fire, and fighters need it for successful frontal attacks. Speaking of fighter pilots, their next most important skills are G-tolerance and stamina. We recommend you train these equally. The former, as you might have guessed, affects the worst positive or negative G-loads a pilot can sustain while performing a sharp maneuver. The latter affects the maximum duration of above-tolerance loads a pilot can sustain and the recovery time required for a pilot who did lose consciousness due to overload. Next, we have the skills affecting enemy detection, keen vision, and awareness. The better they are, the further a pilot can spot enemies or missile launches in modes with markers. Many aircraft, though, have crews of more than a single pilot, so let's see what we've got in the Defensive Armament tab. Some of these are already familiar, such as Vitality, Stamina, and G-tolerance. Since aircraft with defensive turrets don't often join high-energy dogfights, the truly important skill here is Vitality. Gunners are constantly under fire. It's their job, after all. If you don't like taking manual control over turrets, take a look at fire precision and accuracy. Upgrading these will improve the distance at which your gunners start firing and, more importantly, help them score a few hits. Now, the last point here is the number of experienced gunners. If you point your cursor at it, you can see how many gunners your aircraft has, and there's no use in upgrading the skill any further since, unfortunately, it won't add any more turrets anyways. The more experienced gunners you have, the more successful their firing will be. But no matter how experienced the gunners or the entire crew is, players always score better. So when you can, switch to manual control to significantly improve your chances. The last tab here, the Logistical Services, has some skills you might remember from our previous video: Repair Speed and Repair Rank. These affect the repair speed in the hangar, on the airfield, and in port. We should note that these skills are shared between all kinds of vehicles a crew's mechanics can fix, meaning if you upgrade this for tanks, you won't have to do it again for aircraft. But aircraft also expect a higher qualification from the crew, so their Logistical Services tab has a couple of unique traits. Reload speed affects the time required to restock your ammo on the airfield, or mid-air if you're playing arcade. It's pretty useful, but has almost no effect on battle efficiency. Now, weapon maintenance is basically the opposite. Upgrading this skill will reduce bomb and rocket spread, which is great for assault, and decrease the chance of weapon jamming, which means longer continuous fire for you. Well, that's it. Use your knowledge well and train your crews. Meanwhile, we'll answer some of the questions you ask us in the comments.